Hello and welcome to the new episode of Around the World in 7 Days. My name is Neel. Let's begin straight away with news of the week. As you must have observed, the geopolitics of the Middle East has intensified these days. The push factor is the visit of Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, which has been making headlines. Visit refers to Prince Salman tour of the Middle East. This event happened at a time when the White House has confirmed details of US President Joe Biden's trip to the Middle East. Biden will travel to the Middle East from July 13th to July 16th, 2022. This would include engagements in Israel, Israeli-occupied West Bank, and Saudi Arabia and other countries of the region. While his visit to Saudi Arabia intends to serve a dual purpose, his stay in West Bank seems diplomatic. The real motive behind intensification of geopolitics in the region is the West Bank diplomacy, which on one hand is compelling experts to speculate, and on the other hand, it is accelerating the anxiety of Iran and Saudi Arabia. However, sensing US maneuvers, Saudi Arabia has begun carving out ways to reduce its worries. For the same, Saudi Arabia has navigated a political path. Consequently, the global politics has gained momentum and the political speculations have escalated. Prince Salman's visit to the Middle East prior to Biden's visit is being gauged as a part of Saudi Arabia's political move. In the first leg of his tour, Prince Salman reached Cairo, the capital of Egypt. He was welcomed by the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in person. Al-Sisi has close ties with Saudi Arabia since he took over the reins of Egypt in 2013 by leading a military coup. Hence, Prince Salman commenced his tour from Egypt. Thereafter, he is scheduled to visit Jordan and then Turkey in the next leg of the tour. Against such a backdrop, several pertinent questions arise. Firstly, why the Prince of Saudi Arabia is visiting the Middle East just before the US President's trip? What are the intentions behind doing so? How will it affect Joe Biden's visit? Secondly, what are the real motives of the US behind Biden's visit to the Middle East? And what is the role of West Bank diplomacy in all of this? We will discuss all these aspects in detail in today's story. First of all, let us talk about Middle East. Middle East is a geopolitical term that came into popular use in the early 20th century. It usually refers to the Arab region. Most of the countries of the Middle East are part of the Arab world. However, it extends from Asia Minor in the Turkey to Egypt and Iran. Almost all countries of this region have similar ethnic groups, geographical features, religious beliefs, and political history. Egypt, Iran, and Turkey are the most populated countries in this region, while Saudi Arabia is the largest country in terms of area. The climate is generally warm and arid here. However, the Levantine coast and the much of Turkey have temperate coastal and humid climate. Most of the countries bordering the Persian Gulf have vast reserves of petroleum. Petroleum reserves are considered to be the backbone of the Middle Eastern economy. The Middle East mainly remains at the center of global geopolitics due to its petroleum reserves. Now the question stems as to why the Prince of Saudi Arabia was so keen to visit the entire Middle East just before the US President's trip. The reason is inherent in Joe Biden's trip to Middle East. Joe Biden is about to visit Israel on the first leg of his tour. Post that, he will also visit the West Bank. Therefore, experts believe that the US will try to find a permanent solution to the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine. However, neither Saudi Arabia nor Iran wants this issue to be resolved. Saudi Arabia knows that if a permanent solution is found for the Palestine conflict, then its dominance over Arab and Middle Eastern countries will start diminishing. In that case, its strategic plan to unite all the Arab countries in the region in the name of Palestine will land into shambles. Hence, Saudi Arabia still has not inked the Abraham Accords that aim to normalize relations between Israel and Arab countries. Furthermore, Saudi Arabia's relationship with the US is also going through a tough phase these days. Saudi Arabia, which is considered a special ally of the US in the Middle East, has started opposing the US on various fronts. When the world was facing oil inflation due to the sanctions imposed on Russia, the US had asked Saudi Arabia to augment its oil production. However, Saudi Arabia refused to increase its oil production even at US behest. Earlier, Saudi Arabia had also declined to sign the Abraham Accords mediated by the US. But now that the US is planning to implore Saudi Arabia as well as other countries for gathering support on the Israel issue, Saudi Arabia's Prince Salman decided to visit the important countries of the Muslim world to scuttle the US's move. Prince Salman's trip is aimed at stopping the US from seizing the reins of the Middle East. If the US succeeds in its plan, it will surely trample Saudi Arabia's diplomacy, and Saudi Arabia will never want this to happen. Similarly, Iran is also aware that if Arab countries sideline the Palestine conflict and normalize relations with Israel, Iran will have to pay its price. The US will again remind all the Arab countries of a common enemy, that is Iran, and will divert their attention from Palestine to Iran. It will become a matter of grave concern for Iran. Therefore, Iran will never want the Israel and Palestine issue to be resolved because it is better off with the tussle being escalated. Well, we still have to wait to find the implications of the Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's visit all over the Middle East, and also the subsequent Joe Biden's visit to the same region. Now, let us look at the question based on today's bulletin. What are the implications of Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's visit to the Middle East? Evaluate. That was all for this episode of Around the World in 7 days. See you in next episode. Till then, stay tuned.